Okay, and welcome to the semi-finals of the
Dire Team Band.
this great tournament. We've been enjoying it so far. We got ourselves ExDee Gaming on the side of Radiant, and we have Energy Esports on the side of Dire. So far, Energy have looked like they've been pretty damn strong the whole night through.
10 seconds remaining.
Taken out a couple tough foes along the way. One or two more normal matches, I must say. They've always had. It would always look like they've had full control over the game. One or two exceptions, obviously. There's always going to be, but so far they're definitely looking like the favorites for this tournament.
Definitely, but if you've made it all the way to the semi-finals, you're no pushovers either. So we will have to see what ExDee can bring to the table.
Well, I mean, let's be honest. If you are sponsored by Cougar Gaming, you're probably going to be decent at Dota.
Yeah, definitely. So we're seeing pretty standard bans coming out of ExDee, Kunkka and Voidspirit. Both of whom just take control of the game.
Yeah, the Kunkka from both Addersdam and then the second game Keck, both times have always just been very, very good at controlling the tempo of the game, and it never felt, when he was around in a fight, it never felt like the other position team could quite get a good grasp on that fight.
So interesting change to the banning style from Energy. Every game we've seen them so far, they've gotten first pick and always banned Lina in the first phase. They currently haven't banned her. So if she goes throughout the entire ban phase, they might be looking to pick her up.
I must admit, I'm glad to see the Pugna gone because, that hero at the moment gives me conniptions.
What don't you like about him?
That recent buff where it was brought down to 7 seconds is just a bit ridiculous in my opinion. Like, no matter where you play him, no matter where you put him, I feel like in mid lane, you hit level 6 and the opposition mid just has to leave or get in some help. Because on a 7-second cooldown, it is, in my opinion, at least a little bit absurd. I think there needs to be some sort of, maybe not necessarily a nerf, but some sort of a reshuffle there.
Going back to the bans, it looks like they've taken out a whole bunch of snowballers and then a few centerpiece heroes, Voidspirit and Lycan.
Yeah, it's all of these heroes are very, very good in the meta at the moment.
10 seconds remaining.
Death Prophet maybe being one I haven't seen as often, but I have seen her once or twice in off lanes. So always going to be a decent hero at controlling a bit of a team fight. When her ult's down, it's always something that you have to worry about. Oracle being banned, a very, very meta pick at the moment. And speaking about meta, we have a Kotl first pick.
So Lina hasn't been banned by Energy Esports for the first time this tournament. Let's see if they go for it.
I'm wondering if they maybe were baiting it in, or maybe it was when they were going up against opposition where they didn't want unwelcome surprises. Let's put it that way. I feel like XD and Energy probably have a good feel out of each other. Both of them are played at a very high level, so they're probably going to know each other, right? So you probably feel like that Lina is not quite as necessary as it was previous games because you're not going to be surprised by anything.
Dire team pick.
Again, that's my feeling there. Bane, very, very good pick at the moment. I played a game last night where Bane was in my team, and honestly, Bane just at the moment controls the tempo of the game so well, and the laning stage is always such a pain to deal with him.
10 seconds
yeah, so
remaining.
The next couple of picks need to be some way to keep the enemy team away from Bane while he just does his thing.
I wonder if a silencer isn't worth the pick this round? Or do you think maybe not necessarily strong enough? Dragon Knight being very, very good in the meta at the moment. Probably one of the better initiators. One of the games we were casting a little while ago was the DK just was the first man in and last man out every fight. And he gets fights going so well. But when you have the Dragon Form plus a blink, it's so good at catching people off guard. And he can't really be punished because he's so tanky.
Also, with the Ags, he gets extra magic resistance in his dragon form, and he just becomes unkillable.
Yeah, especially when you stack all of that armor on top of him. And like I said, there are other heroes that are very, very good at initiating, and arguably there are better heroes at initiating, but none that can quite initiate without the consequences, as it were.
Speaking of better heroes for initiating, Monkey King coming out of ExDee.
Monkey King, very nice. Again, a very good hero. He can 1v1, but he can also create good team fight situations. So this is always going to be a decent all-rounder pick. Quap being banned, another one of those one-on-one as well as team fight.
Yeah, going back to your silencer question, it's only really worth picking him if you know you're going up against a melee mid that you can bully, or there's a core intelligence hero that you can put him up against, because the Glaives of Wisdom just hurt so much.
Fair enough. Would you say Dragon Knight is a character? Very well might be a mid Dragon Knight.
No, not against Monkey King.
Dire team pick.
As soon as ExDee picked Monkey King, that forced the Dragon Knight to either go off lane or carry a lane away from him.
Alright. Well, the Bristleback being banned, so again, trying to get away from those guys who can just run a team fight forever. I must admit, I'm a bit surprised to not see an IO at all tonight.
10 seconds
considering
remaining.
how prevalent the hero has been pretty much forever in Dota. I would have expected at least someone to try and pull it out. But maybe that's going back to that concept again, where this is single elimination, so going for safe picks maybe is not quite enough.
The problem with IO is when you pick an IO, you're basically saying, we want this game to go to late game. So if the enemy team pushes a whole bunch of snowbally aggressive heroes, it's very hard for the IO team to deal with it. Bounty Hunter.
And that is very much in the meta at the moment. And that pretty much proves it, doesn't it? But the Bounty Hunter pick proves for sure that the meta at the moment is very much around a brawly fighty sort of team fight where you're constantly looking to try and gain the upper hand on the opposition.
10 seconds
to various
remaining.
small engagements, which is what Bounty Hunter really excels at. If there's just a small break between each burst of fighting, so you can just steal as much gold as possible.
And he can also make it so that when those small engagements happen, you get as much as possible out of them too.
Yeah.
Every kill you get is just worth a little bit more, and then the next kill's worth a little bit more, and then the next kill's worth a little bit more. And it can get a little bit out of control if you don't have a way to deal with the bounty track. Scarlet Mage.
That is
5 seconds.
That is just a shank gang for Dragon Knight. They just need someone else to hold him down, and then Scarlet Mage can just go to town on him.
Yeah, the Blade Mail is a bit of a difficult one to deal with, though. I don't know if I want to see a Dragon Knight necessarily get a Blade Mail, but if you are going to be the first punching bag, it's not always a bad idea. I would like to say that the Skyroth is probably a fairly good way to deal with Bane with the silence. And it is an immediate silence, so it's not a unguaranteed one like some other heroes. When Skyroth clicks on silence on you, he's silenced. And he also does a fair amount of damage. And Bane has to stand still while fiend scripting.
Yeah, definitely. I'm not a fan of Troll Warlord in particularly high skill games, simply because his ult kind of places a skill ceiling on the hero. You can only get so good at Troll, and then his ult does all the work for you.
And I understand what you mean, and also if people have a good way of carting you, then you kind of you press R and you might as well just let go of your keyboard, because you're just going to get carted out of existence. I'm sure these guys know what they're doing, so there'll be ways to deal with it, and they just need to make sure though that the Will-O-Wisp does not control their fight, because at the moment they don't have a huge amount of long range engage. A lot of their heroes at the moment are all fairly close range. Even Bane, as a ranged character, needs to get fairly close to use his abilities.
Definitely. They're also lacking a bit on the lockdown. They only have Bane and Dragon Knight for that. Speaking of kiting out of existence though, Mars, if you've never seen it, there's a hilarious interaction where if Mars puts his Arena of Blood down and Troll Warlord ults, Mars can just walk out of the Arena of Blood and drag Troll into the wall.
Radiant team man.
I want to see that this game. I don't like wishing bad about people, but that sounds like something fun to watch. I assume
Thinking of
one
the
way or another this
bans.
game's going to turn out good, though.
Yeah, definitely. Thinking of the bans though, Slark was a good thing to get rid of because there's pretty much nothing they
10
could do on
seconds
Energy
remaining.
Esports to counter Slark.
Yeah, and Dragon
only-
Knight's just a
5
free
seconds
stat steal.
remaining.
Yeah, the only guaranteed lockdown they would have in a team fight for
Radiant
Slark would be the Bane Fiend's Grip, and if Slark manages to dark pack that, it's just
Yeah,
such a
that would be
huge pain.
completely
Dire
demoralizing.
team pick.
Oh, there's a good counter to Troll Warlord.
Also, if you think about it, there's a lot of melee on Energy Esports team. Razor
Yeah, they're
can
all
just
forced to get
suck all the
close.
damage he wants.
And the Troll Warlord can eventually just turn into like a free, I'll take all your
10
damage, thank you
seconds
very
remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Well, you say that, but then Energy Esports does something crazy like Troll Warlord 4th position with his
Oh, yeah.
Ags ult.
much. I am quite happy to deal with that. I doubt it, but I'd be happy to deal with that. What is his Ags actually,
they're
if you
either-
don't mind me asking?
He can cast his ultimate on other people.
Oh, very nice. It's interesting. Something I just noticed, by the way, Moz's arm hair is alive. You're welcome. So that's a thing you can't unsee.
Yeah, so it allows it to be cast on allies or enemies. Puck.
Choose
Okay.
your hero.
Great. Aha!
So
And we have a puck.
I
And,
wasn't liking Energy Esports draft, but I am completely biased 100% when pucks are involved. So.
100% believing Puck's gonna win now. I must admit, both sides look very, very good. I do enjoy the drafts on both teams, but I'm gonna lean towards ExDee here. I think they have the better control overall.
Yeah, in all seriousness, without my ridiculous bias showing, both teams have very difficult things to work around to deal with the other ones. But XD seems to just have an easier way of finding their way through it with items
10
and
seconds
progression.
remaining.
They don't need to go too
Yeah,
far out of their way.
I agree. It does feel like
5
there's a
seconds
good
remaining.
no, what's the word? There's it's easier to execute. There's less reliant on perfection.
Well,
Oh.
if you need perfection to pull off a draft, you'd better hope that you're playing in a team like Energy Esports, though.
That is damn true. I reckon this is going to be a cracker over game one way or another. I'm leaning towards XD based on the draft, but either way, you know that this is going to be a good game.
Definitely, definitely. Either way, we're going to see some amazing ults from either team. They just have such big team fight ults.
Yeah. Oh, everyone's dying. Yep, confirmed. They're all dead except Monkey King. He's like, screw that.
No shenanigans from Energy Esports this time.
All right. And, good old-fashioned South African Dota. What's the start of a Dota game without a pause? So, starting us off, we are looking at a puck being played by Keck. He's probably going to be taking that into the offlane. We have TKC playing the Bane. He'll be your 5th position. Mental on the Bounty Hunter, roaming. Double O, he's going to be the safe lane DK. And we look like we're going to have an Addis down mid with the Troll Warlord. On the side of XD, we have Mr. BEE himself on the Cottle. Mr. Barceps playing the Mars, very fitting name. Skihound playing the Scaroth. ASDF is going to be playing your Razor. And last, GPK playing your Monkey King. What sort of lanes do you think we're going to be having here? Do you think it's going to be a Monkey King mode, Razor, maybe even it's going to be a Scaroth 4th, excuse me. It has to be
Scaroth
Scaroth
4th,
for
so
sure.
if I would have to guess, I would say, well, actually, now that I look at the draft for XD Gaming, thinking about the laning situation, isn't Dragon Knight kinda stuffed? Because both Razor and Monkey King can go off lane, and both of those are just a hard counter to Dragon Knight in lane.
I mean, I can't believe that they will take Mars away from the offlane. You might be right. They might be sending him. Maybe he'll be solo safe lane and they go an aggressive offlane. But I don't know if that's necessarily the end goal here. We'll see in a minute. And that is exactly what it is going to be. That was a good call.
So it's going to be Razor to counter the Dragon Knight off lane.
Yep, you can do the tactical timeout doing its job.
Definitely.
Citation needed.
Carry Mars is a thing. It's not particularly effective, but I don't think that's what it is. I just think they're sending their one position aggressive because they know it's a better lane.
I must admit, I'm not hugely versed in the names on the side of... dang it, I'm awful with names. It's been a long night.
ExDee.
ExDee, thank you very much, sir. Points to that man. I'm not familiar with the names on the side of ExDee, so I can't say for sure who plays what position regularly.
30 seconds
I have to believe it's still going to be a third position Mars. But it is definitely the best way to line up this matchup. As you were saying, the Razor and the Monkey are just too good against DK. So
Yeah, no,
it just makes a natural choice.
It's such a hard lane when you're a DK because you don't have a lot of base damage. All your last hits and denies come from the fact that you reduce others' damage with Dragon Breath.
Top lane, we already have a little bit of a fight going on, but the Nightmare is going to slow down the Razor's steal. Looks like it's just a bit of fighting for now. Scaroth's going to grab both of the bounty runes. So, fairly balanced. We got a bounty hunter slapping around Kotl there, steal some of his money. Holla, get the dollar.
So 3-1 on bounty runes.
Yeah? On whose side?
Radiant got more bounty runes than Dire.
Very nice. Okay. Well, that's GG then, isn't it?
No, it's only
to
if
the
you get
finals.
all 4, it's GG.
Okay. I'm sorry. I'm not that versed in professional Dota. I need to watch more. So top lane, it's already starting off. You can see the Razor stealing the damage already, as you were saying. DK at least has a little bit of your farming ability in that Dragon Breath, so he's probably going to have to level that up next, and that'll be his staple to farm. Razor's just going to make it very, very difficult for him.
He does have Quelling Blade, so it is possible for him to last hit, but denying is going to be a chore.
That's fair, because his ability doesn't do anything to deny either. But like you say, the side of ExDee, they definitely know what they're doing here. They've done some very, very good lane calculations and mixed it up as according. Do you think it'll be worth the time of energy to move the lanes around again, or do you think they should just leave it as is and take what comes?
No, I think leave it as is for now. Because you're making it messy. They're focusing on annoying your heroes out of lane, and that's allowing you to get a last hit lead.
Yeah, for sure. Well, the last hits at the moment, again, fairly early in the game. But you can see Troll Warlord taking just a little bit of a lead ahead of the Monkey King mid. Is that fairly normal? I'm not too sure about this matchup.
It would be. Monkey King's usually incredibly good against any mid that's a melee, but usually against ranged heroes he struggles a bit.
First
Alright,
blood.
okay. Oh, we missed the first blood there, top. They managed to... They got a few arcane bolts off and managed to just beat down the Bane eventually.
Yeah, I finished it off with a last hit just in tower range.
Do you think... At what point do you go, okay, this lane's not working, we should swap? Or do you mulligan
Radiant's
this lane?
courier has been killed.
Courier kill. Bounty Hunter's job is now done. By the way, I would just like to say that this ward, bottom lane, is absolutely gorgeous at the moment. Puck getting a bit low, bottom lane. And they are going, it looks like they're going to be able to get down this Kotl. Yes, they will. A little bit of running around, a little bit of placement, and they managed to get him down. Bounty Hunter, doing Bounty Hunter things. Already stolen a bunch of gold, I'm sure.
So I think at this point what Energy need to do is just leave the Dragon Knight in lane, because so long as he's careful, he wouldn't die. And then set the Bane to getting stacks so he can catch up later on. But if they think they can fight for it, definitely try.
Okay, so basically, just deal with the cards you've been dealt with, let the other lanes do their thing.
Because the other lanes are going fairly well so far.
That's fair. I mean, they did lose their Cottle. Excuse me, they managed to take the Cottle in bottom lane. Top lane, they managed to get some more. Are they going to be chasing him down? Will they get lost? They will. So, this lane is starting to get a little bit difficult now, and they might even be able to get the Bane as well. They get one last auto attack, one last bird. Let's see. No, manages to make it. Just about. And there it is. There's the lane swap. Meanwhile, Troll Warlord goes down mid. Things are getting a little bit difficult for Energy at the moment. And they've been riding on just a little bit too much of the success so far.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. Monkey King doesn't do very well against range heroes, but if he can get on top of you, he does ridiculous damage from the Jengu Mastery stacks.
Yeah, for sure.
Also one of the most annoying laughs in the game.
Oh my goodness, that's exactly what I was about to say. Stacked on top of each other, holy crap. Mid lane, he's going in on him again by the looks of it, but I don't know if anything will come of this. He manages to dodge one tower attack. Top lane, they're going to be able to get this Bane again. 3 heroes here, fairly easy trade. I'd just like to say, Mars immediately traded, so they've moved the lanes back again. So it looks like Energy traded to try and get, and they're like, no. You are laning with what we told you we're going to lane with. Bottom lane, Razor might just be able to chase down his DK the whole way to base. But no, he manages to Dragon Tail and he's just going to walk away.
72 extra damage is so painful.
Many ouches.
Yeah.
Well, we've had a complete rotation of lanes, more or less. If I'm not mistaken, the Cottle was bottom originally as well.
Yeah, and now they're going to go Skyroth. So basically, what the lane swap changed for Energy is there's now a Bounty Hunter support instead of a Bane support.
Right. Do you think that makes any difference? If not making an effect worse?
I would say it makes more of a difference for the puck lane, because Bane can just set kills.
Meanwhile, top, it looks like they're going to be able to very, very quick kill on the Cottle there. A little bit of burst. Now Puck is going to be able to go down on the Mars. No, but he manages to get a good skewer onto the tree. I think he might die anyway to the auto attacks. He manages. Yep, no. He goes down to the loser. We're going to have another bounty kill. Easy career.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
So, what I was saying about reducing Puck's kill potential, I lied. I was just trying to get everybody, you know, like... I just wanted to show everybody that I was wrong. Oh, no. Can happen.
Looking at builds, very interesting one.
Bounty Hunter pays for his troubles. Bottom lane. Managed to silence him up and slap him down. Meanwhile, top lane, Bounty. They look sorry, not Bounty, Bane. They look like they might want to go on him. But their Puck is causing a lot of damage. Does he have Dream Coil? No, he does not. He has not leveled it just yet. Opting rather for a bit more lane control with the Illusory plus the Silence. Bottom lane, they're chasing down the DK again. And they should be able to get him. Yes, they will. The Bounty Hunter on the return trying to get something back, but he needs to get out of there because that's a lot of damage going down. He does have the raindrops, so the initial burst isn't so bad. But if he's not careful, those will disappear quite quickly against Scarra. And that's another courier kill for the Bounty Hunter. What's that, 3 now? Jeez, and now top lane. They killed Mars again. So it seems like but they're just trading one lane for another at this point. Let's see who can get the most kills in off lane. Meanwhile, safe lane again. Razor is getting away on very few health. They managed to kill the Bounty Hunter in the process, and Razor's just going to be able to walk away. Going back top, Bane is now chasing the Cottle. Could you guys like not both attack each other at the same time for once, please? Just like casters matter too.
Bane and Puck are just a horrific kill squad. in lane. Looking at the builds, very interesting one coming up for Puck. Necrobook first.
Necrobook first, okay. That's new for me. I don't know if that's a regular thing, but I have not seen that before.
There's nothing else too crazy going on. Standard build for Monkey King. He's going Wraithband into Echo Saber.
So a couple new short items starting to drop now. So far, looking at the starting lane, it does look like ExDee are ahead on the kills, but Energy are somehow able to stay ahead on the net worth just because of the Troll Warlord being able to farm up. It looked at the beginning like, you know, it did look like he was going to get an advantage, but he's able to get that farm up, even though he did have that early death. So I'm sure he'll be able to transition fairly well.
The bounty kills in the courier are also helping a lot in that regard.
That is true, yes. They have gotten 3 so far, if I'm not mistaken, and that's 100 some odd gold per player. So that's definitely helping out, I'm sure. In fact, if you take that out of account, that does swing the other way, so that'll be where all the damage is coming from. And at the moment, it's also one of the best incomes of gold because it was one of the few things that was not nerfed in the last patch in terms of gold income. Interesting little fact.
Yeah, they definitely think it was enough. If you guys thought that this Razor bullying the Dragon Knight was sadistic before, he's going a Yule Scepter, so it's going to be even worse.
Of course he is. That does seem to be the build at the moment, so nothing too unusual there. Meanwhile, we have a Monkey King and the Cottle going on the Bane. I don't know if they'll get any kills. Where did that kill happen? That was so fast. They managed to kill Skaroth, and they did manage to get the Bane in the end. So, once again, 2 fights happening, opposite sides of the map, and it's a 1-for-1 trade. Both
it was just
support.
the bounty Janada, Dragon Knight, Dragon Tail, and Breathe Fire, and then also the Whirling Axes from Troll.
Right, okay. So
His health bar just disappeared.
Quickly. Well, I mean, it's good to see this kind of thing though, right? Where both teams are just constantly poking at each other's weaknesses. Where it's just basically a fight constantly to try and get control of the map. So, while it might be hard for us, it's good to see. They are now going on Puck top. They've silenced it, but now she does have the... No, she does. Managed to get the Dream Call off, but yeah, the damage is too much, too quick. And they managed to wall her off, so not happening today.
However,
Mid? Are they returning? Monkey King? He's going to be able to get away. He managed to jump into a tree. They can't follow him. And then locks for good measure, why not? Meanwhile, bottom lane, Razor looking like he might want to go on Bane. But now the bounties here, they have the Troll Warlord here, and they are just going to get a free bounty kill.
That was track gold too, so...
Yeah. I mean, if you want to have a look at the fight recap, that was 256 gold for Bane, 100 for Troll, and 190 for Bounty. So just that one kill saw quite a big swing. But that is the point of Bounty, though, is to make the little bit that you can get worth more. So, and then if you are ahead, it makes you more ahead. So it just feels like a good all-round pick, you know.
So despite the fact that he's been...
Looks like he might want to go on the DK here. The Bane is on the way. But yep, no track kill. A little bit questionable on the Monkey King there. But it looks like the rest of the teams on both sides are coming. We have our first big team fight. Will-O-Wisp done. They might be able to get this puck. She does have the illusion. She might be able to juke it. She is going to juke it out. Meanwhile, back in the middle, Razor, he's busy fighting out with DK, but DK is just going to be able to walk away. Bounty Hunter, trying to poke with the backline, but nothing really coming of it. And in the end, we only had a 1-for-1 with all of those things flying. So both sides sort of just feeling each other out. So, looks like both sides just sort of feeling each other out, sort of sussing out where power abilities are at the moment, and then when they both realize maybe this isn't going to turn out best for them, they decide, back it up, fight again next time.
This Bounty Hunter's being so annoying with the gold steal, though.
Oh, Bounty Hunter doing Bounty Hunter things. He's now trying to
going
keep
to do it
tabs
to
on this
Monkey
Monkey
now.
King. No, Monkey King is going to use his Primal Spring, but he used it far too early. Now they managed to get the trackle, and they are going to be trailed to commit on this. Bane is coming now, and it'll be an easy kill for the Bounty Hunter. Troll Warlord does end up claiming it, so it's a bit of extra gold for him again as well. Now it looks like Energy are slowly starting to take control of this game back a bit. It did look for a moment like they were going to lose it, but it looks like they are starting to do their trademark that have come up for the last couple games of slowly stealing the map away.
Just this bounty hunter.
Top lane, we have a Dream Coil, sorry. So it looks like the Puck's going to be able to get a quick and easy solo kill on the Scarab. Yep, and it is a normal one. However, there is a return. The Mars manages to get the Arena of Blood and a quick spot. And meanwhile in mid, they kill the Razor. So, Energy see a full rotation top to try and help out the Scarab, and they immediately punished by going on mid.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Yeah, this is just a crazy game where it comes to kills. They're evenly matched, but the bounty hunter is just
It is starting to
so
add up.
far. Interestingly enough, on the side of Energy, they've managed to keep the last hits up for all their cores as well.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Yeah, that is actually true. I mean, they managed. Oh no, we have a double damage on the Cottle. Say it isn't so. Okay, well we have a puck going in, and they're going to be able to dump. Yeah, no. Fiend's Grip, easy kill for the against the Cottle.
Track kill as well. This bounty must be.
So it's important that they killed him because he had a double damage. Double damage Cottle, scary.
Very scary.
Radiant's
This bounty must be
bottom tower
such a
is under
psychological
attack.
weapon, though. Can you imagine if you're just farming in your own? Oh dear.
Oh, we have another kill bottom lane. They're going to take our troll really quickly. He died before we even realized what was happening. But that does
This is
seem
just
to
such a
be
chaotic
it really does seem to be a recurring theme with this team. We have a 4-man smoke on the side of ExDee. They're trying to work their way mid, using Razor as maybe a little bit of a bait here. And it looks like it might work. We have a big rotation coming from Energy, but they might walk straight into the trap. They might be able to take out this bait before the fight even starts. There's an Arena of Blood in the background, but they're not going to be able to take very much out of it. There's a puck out now. And there's just chaos breaking out everywhere. Will-O-Wisp in the middle, being able to hold down. Bane has gone down. They don't have the Troll Warlord still. He is about to respawn though. Will-O-Wisp goes through its full duration. Mars trying to do a bit more damage, but he is now starting to get pushed back. So far, nobody really dying. They're trying to trade some of the nightmares, but it looks like no one's going to be able to capitalize on it. The Scarab might still go down in the back line here, but not quite. Cottle, he's still being held in place, and there are just abilities flying in every direction, but no one is dying. Cottle goes, alright, fine, I will be the sacrificial lamb, and my team can get the hell on out of there. But it doesn't matter. It looks like they might be able to catch the Bane anyway. Bane, still running in. He has a haste. He wants more. He's going to keep going in, and he might just be able to take down the Scarab, and he does. He hastes away, and on the back line, Mars gets taken down and cleaned up by Energy.
So that fight didn't look too bad until you realize that was 3 track kills and a 9k net worth advantage for Energy now.
There was a buyback, if I'm not mistaken, on Bane. He died immediately, but bought back. It was definitely worth it. But in the end, a 3 for 1 with a buyback.
Radiant's middle
So
tower
definitely
is under
worth
attack.
it on the side of Energy. And that's where you can see though that slow
Radiant's
but
middle tower has
steady build up of the bounty hunter, where over time it just you get a little bit more and a little bit more, and now all of a sudden a game that you thought you had in control, all of a sudden you've got guys dying in their own jungle. Here's another one. We have a track being used at the moment on Keith, but none of the rest of Energy are around just yet. ExDee, they're wanting to try and get some sort of defensive movement going on here. But look at this. All 5 of ExDee are in one little circle on the map. So it's starting to go in Energy's favor, where they're able to just slowly close the net around them.
Important news for the next fight. On the courier, 2
Radiant's
puck
top tower
is a blink
under
dagger.
attack.
That's very good. And I'd like to say, again, big item in the teleport TP boots up on puck as well. Dream Call used, I think just a psychological one at this point. But meanwhile, bottom lane, they managed to take out the Mars, even though he did use the Arena of Blood. Just normal Troll, Warlord, and Bane. Bane did use Fiend's Grip, so he held him down. Meanwhile,
This bounty hunter is just scouting around, seeing where
that's
ExDee
exactly what I was about to say. They have pinged him out though, so I think they just caught the puff of that. So they know he's there, but can they do anything about it? It doesn't look like they're going to try to do anything about it because they're just happy to go back to farming. But once again, you have a look. The first two cores of XD are now having to farm together for safety. Mars is going to try and look for a fight with the puck. I don't know if that's the kind of person you want to have a fight with right now, friend. Yep, he thinks the same and blinks away. So, Bounty Hunter constantly firing off tracks
Radiant's
everywhere,
bottom
and
tower is under
if they're not careful, all it takes is one person to be out of position for half a second and this team will have them. Blink Dagger is now up on DK, and he does have a completed Heaven's Helmet as well. So, should be fairly good against the Razor. They have now put the Razor to sleep. They're blinking on the backline, and they're going to try and take up Scout Mage first.
Radiant's top tower has been denied.
Do they want to try and continue on to Razor? It looks like they might. They're walking around.
No
They don't
Fiend's
have
Grip,
Typhus
so this
anymore.
might
The
be a
track has
difficult
ended. Track is now back on Razor. And they have put him to sleep. DK is now on the way over. He does have a Blink Dagger. They are thinking about it, but I think they're thinking a little bit better of it now that the top looking about. Yep, they're happy to just take the tier 2, get back, close that noose a little bit more. And the creep just aggroed him, so he immediately pings out the fact that there's a ward there. So they know that there are workings to try and get rid of the bounty hunter. Well, they always are going to be, but it's easier to when you know where they are.
Tower is under attack.
Definitely. There is the Echo Saber up for Monkey King, but here's the conundrum when you go Echo Saber first. What damage? So your Wukong's command attack twice, but what damage do they deal?
I think the idea is that you're not going for your ult first, you're going for the one-on-one brute fight, because you get your Jingu Mastery stacks up a lot faster. So you hit, and then you can use the Jingu Strike? No, excuse me.
The Boundless Strike.
Boundless Strike, sorry. You get the stacks up quickly and the Boundless Strike does a bit more burst damage. It looks like XD are wanting to make a movement towards bottom, but Bounty Hunter seems to just kind of be hurting them a bit. With that being said, they drop everything. This guy must die now. Everyone sort of agrees. He manages to steal just a little bit more gold on the way down, but he does die. But what that means is the Reno Flood is down, so the rest of the team can have a little bit more confidence. I mean, if this doesn't show it perfectly, all of XD are now pushing for the tier 1 mid. And there's a couple energy players coming back. Addistam, meanwhile, pre-farming the enemy jungle. He is on 193 last hits already. So
he's
going
going
to
for
start getting
Satanic.
difficult. Yeah. Oh, that would be a good first item. The BKB... BKB is for a game where you feel like you don't have a way to deal with it, but if it feels like you're running away with it, that's when you go for something big like your hearts or the Satanic in this case.
He has Sanjayana, Yasha, and Satanic, and that means that altogether, let me just make sure I'm not saying this incorrectly, he has about 50% status resistance. So all the disables they throw at Troll are now 50% duration.
Right, yeah, that does make a huge difference in the team fight. So it's one of those where it's like, I'm just going to override BKB by just, making it unreasonable to use abilities on me.
The worst part is there's nothing stopping him from going back for BKB.
That's true. If he feels like he needs it, the farm is there. So it looks like they're going to be trying to go in this bounty hunter again. It might be an easy enough kill if they know he's there. They don't. The ward is taken down.
Radiant's top tower is under
Bit of
attack.
aggression, but moving back again. It looks like ExDee are trying to slow this game down a bit, and I don't know if that's necessarily going to work in their favor. I do feel like they need to be the ones who are going to make the play now. Energy are just slowly running down the game. And here comes the DK. The first blink in of the game. He blinks in, and they might be able to get the cotton. They do. Brains up, able to finish him off fairly quickly. And now they are pinging the Monkey King top. So I don't know if that means they're happy to go in somewhere else, or if they're looking to try and push that lane instead.
It is a bit difficult to make a move when you're 19k gold behind.
Radiant's
That
top
is
tower
true,
is under
but when
attack.
you're walking around as 5, you don't have much of a choice because it'll only get worse from there. And it looks like they will be able to get the boundless strike out on Puck. Puck immediately face shifts, and she will be able to lose her up the hill. And
Cheeky
a nice little shuriken toss for their problem. Yeah, have a shuriken toss for your troubles.
Just letting them know, hey, I'm here.
So
Yeah, the next items coming up for them are the major ones for XD. Are Heaven's Halberd on Mars and Atos on Scaroth Mage. If they can manage to get those up, they might be able to just hold one person down and destroy them.
to delete them before anything else can happen. And Mars is going in on the bounty hunter. It looks like they'll finally be able to catch him. But yeah, no, they'll be able to take him down. One of the funny things that I would like to point out that just happened there is the Will-O-Wisp got used and he stunned his own Monkey King. Because the Monkey King was on the tree and Will-O-Wisp was used and killed the tree. Meanwhile, top lane, Puck is being a split-pushing bastard.
Radiant's top tower.
But it looks like they are wanting to go further and they're going to be going on in the bane. But there is now oh, excuse me, the Monkey King ult is now being used. They're being able to hold the troll down. Will they be able to get the troll dead? No, there's a Satanic. Satanic manages to keep him alive. They are going to be able to turn this fight around now. They're going towards Mars. Will they be able to catch Mars? They might not with this team. But in the backline, Troll Warlord managing to take out Razor. Razor did not get out in time. DK hunting down Kotl, but Kotl has a haste and he's just going to be able to run away. But Mars still busy trying to run for his life here. He should be able to get away. No, he will not. Puck says no. They might be able to find the Scaroth Mage here as well, but do they have anything to stun him? No, they do not. So, very broken up fight there. And it looked like ExDee just kind of got lost in that fight. Like, somehow Razor managed to make it all the way to the tier 2 before he realized that they weren't winning that fight.
Razor was 100 gold away from Heaven's Halberd. That's painful. And he had Heaven's Halberd in that fight. Troll was dead.
They've just gone into the rush, but Troll Warlord taking everything. And by the way, he's not going to go back for the BKB. He's going to go straight for Butterfly. But that last fight sort of proved that it didn't matter. He just turned around and used Satanic, and they just couldn't do anything about him. And so the map gets a little bit more claustrophobic.
They are attempting to get up to Heaven's Halberds for Troll, so if they can just manage to ride out either his ult or Satanic with the Heaven's Halberd and manage to burst him down while he can't attack and heal through it, it might be enough.
Oh, looks like they're going to be able to catch the bounty hunter again in the Arena of Blood. We'll see if they're actually able to finish him off. He just seems to be getting harder and harder to kill. They have to commit the Will-O-Wisp. That seems like a lot of commitment for just one bounty hunter. And that comes down to the Bane just being able to slow everything down by dropping a Nightmare on them.
At least Kotl can take seconds off the cooldown of Will-O-Wisp every time Chakra Magic's up.
I don't know if I don't know if that matters anymore though. When you have to commit 2 of your big team fight ults to kill the 4th position, things have not gone well for you. But the problem is it also feels like once you've committed 1 ult, you can't just let him get away. So you start committing more to the point where eventually it's like everyone's going to jump on this guy and use everything, and you kill Bounty Hunter.
ExDee is going for the items they need, and they are getting them. It's just, I think it's a testament to how well ExDee... Yeah, but it is a testament to how well ExDee is actually playing this out by the fact that Energy Esports is 27k net worth ahead, and they still don't think they can just end the game.
Yeah, no, well, you can definitely tell that ExDee are putting up a very good fight here. I mean, as you said, they do have the ways to deal with these things, but the problem is they're just not strong enough. And it looks like they are now wanting to put an end to this Bane and Bounty Hunter being in their jungle, so they're going straight at them. The Nightmare is there to slow things down, but it's immediately taken off by the Kotl. They use the Arena of Blood on the DK, but now there is the Dream Coil here. The rest of Energy are coming. Can ExDee hold out against this? It looks like they can't. On the backline, they are still hunting down the Razor. The DK has already killed. They're just walking straight into the Monkey ult. They don't care. And it looks like it will be a complete team wipe for the loss of nothing. But no, the yield is there, but it doesn't matter. They want him and they will get him. And here comes DK. He says, that one's mine, thank you very much.
I sense a connection.
And here comes Troll with the lovely gift of a full creep wave.
Radiant's
Ah,
middle
yes.
tower has fallen.
Always nice to
This smells
receive
like
that on
the lane of
Christmas
rats.
morning.
Radiant structures are fortified.
I mean, that really does show the goal difference. You know? Up until then, ExDee were able to hold off, and just by playing well, they were able to slow down.
Radiant's
But
middle
once
tower
you
has
start
fallen.
taking, and that's what I was saying earlier about that bounty kill earlier, when you start taking 10, 20 seconds to kill a support, the rest of the team are able to just show up. And now this is just a dream call, and they're just running straight into the whole team. But there is a little worse. They might be able to slow it down. They kill the bounty hunter for it. They might be able to kill the Scarlet. Nope, the Scarlet manages to walk away. Now, Puck still sitting in the middle of the whole team here, but he might just walk away. Razor, however, is now trying to hunt down the DK. He doesn't manage to get the static link ball, but now Arena Blood being used, and they do have two of them in it. They managed to secure the DK, but no one's really dying. And now it's time for Energy to turn it around and give it back to them. Yep, and there's the Fiend Cup. They're just going to be able to kill the Razor. Scarlet does, but just collateral damage at this point. And they... tactical timeout. Yeah, I'm sure. Oh no, okay. To be fair, it was, yeah. No, it was a DC on the side of Energy, so at least you can't say tactical.
Yeah.
All jokes
Radiant
aside,
whiffed cooldown on Park.
all jokes aside, are there any chances of these guys coming back with a 36 gold deficit? 37, sorry.
I mean, there's always a chance, but it would require a throw, and I think Energy have proved that they definitely do not throw leads once they've gained them.
Well, I mean, there's a Lotus Orb on Bounty Hunter, which is ridiculous. Puck's back. So, I think at this point we're finishing this game for the sake of having a complete result. Because I don't know if there's a way back for ExDee. They did execute their laning stage very well. They knew where their power was, and they were able to dance around Energy a bit. But it did feel like once the net started closing with Energy, that was pretty much that.
The bounty track roller coaster just doesn't stop.
Radiant's
Yeah,
bottom barracks
and it does fit very well into their style of play as well, because as we've seen in previous games from Energy, they tend to like this
Radiant's bottom
get
barracks
control
have
of the
fallen.
river, and then you push it little bit by little bit until eventually the enemy team can't do anything. They're stuck in their base, and if you try and go up, then they just kill you. Monkey King,
top
we can
tower
try and get
is
something in the
under
corner here, but I don't know if there's anything that they can do. This next fight is probably going to decide the end of the game. And there's the Satanic, he's just straight back up to full health. Dream Call on the back line, the Troll Wall is going to walk in, he finishes up the Scar fairly easy. There is a buyback. Here comes the Arena of Blood and the Monkey King out. Will they be able to actually get some sort of damage done here? It looks like they might be able to kill the Troll Waller. The Troll Waller does not have Satanic and he does not have his ult. Troll Waller goes down. Let's see if they can chase anything else down. Bane should be able to drop in the back line, and he does. Bounty Hunter, they are still hunting him, but do they have vision? They do, but it did not clip him. Now, there's still a Puck in the back line. Will they be able to catch her? No. Puck, TP zone is fine. They are going to be able to catch the Bounty Hunter for their troubles. And somehow, with almost a 40,000 gold deficit, ExDee holds.
I think that was the level 15 Razor power spike, because if you look at his level 15 talent, 5 static link damage to it. Doesn't sound like much, but it adds up so quickly.
Well, the duration's 18 seconds, so it's 5 by 18, right?
Yeah, it is.
That's an extra 70 damage. Oh, it looks like Puck might have just made a mistake here. Can the team get here in time? I think she has enough movability to get around. Yeah, and she does. Silences them and blinks away for good measure. So, on the side of
Placing a
ExDee...
bounty on Monkey.
BMing. It never gets old. On the side of ExDee, how do you try and turn this into some sort of comeback?
You need more lockdown than you currently have, so the Rod of Atos on the Skywrath, if he can manage to get that up, or just
He
help
has
with
been
the fact
building that Rod of Atos since minute 10.
I know, but once he finally manages to get it, it frees the rest of the team's big lockdown to actually focus on other
That's
targets
true.
rather than what he's trying to ult.
That's true. 2 lanes of racks. Not
Radiant's
impossible.
top barracks
Does make
are
it difficult
under
though.
attack.
It looks like energy. They're gonna regroup. No smokes required. They're just gonna slowly walk back up. And they are gonna be committing onto this. They have the troll warlord in the front. And once bitten, twice shy sort of thing. So they might be a little bit more careful last time. They might have overestimated how much damage they can do. But now it's just back to slowly wearing it down. You know, make XP come to them.
Will-O-Wisp into Arena Blood.
Do they have it though? Looks like on the backline they have DK. But now they have caught the troll warlord. The troll warlord has them netted. And there's a bit of a broken up fight now. Mars has been able to catch 2 heroes in the Arena of Blood on the backline. And at the moment, no one's quite dying just yet. There have been a few abilities used, but nothing quite committed. DK manages to blink and gets a stun on Razor. Razor is dead. And they're now turning onto the Monkey King. Razor has brought back. Can he do anything here? Monkey King running away for his life. Mars will go down. There's the Fiend Grip being used on him. All of the splash damage is probably going to be killing the Scarlet on backline. They do kill Razor. And yep, good old fashioned stomp. Yeah.
That's just demoralizing.
Yeah, and they call it the GG. There's no coming back from that. The game will be over before anyone even respawns.
Definitely.
And we
Once you
truly
get
are
found down
watching.
like that, you know.
Yeah, I know. We are definitely watching the guys at the top of their game at the moment in South Africa because that was just great. It did seem like they were struggling in the laning stage, and then they just managed to turn it around and then just slowly but surely drag the game kicking and screaming to the end.
Definitely.
Well,
I think
I'm
that's
looking
it for
forward to
this
the
game.
final, and we'd like to say well done to ExDee for making it this far, and they're going to have their chance in the 3rd, 4th playoff, and as for us, we'll be seeing everybody in the grand final. We'll see you there.
Catch you in the next one.
Cheers.